Welcome aboard.
But enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
Yes, let's do that. Good morning, everybody. Hello. Now, I know we're going to talk about weather and the lights going out and all that.
Yeah.
Do people around the country care?
Yeah, because their lights have gone out at some point in their life, so
Yeah.
they can relate.
We had a crazy storm here in New York.
Yeah.
New York, Long Island, Connecticut, Jersey. Wow.
Pretty badass.
Temperatures were, what, over 100 yesterday?
Yeah, we had a cold front move in over the warm weather, and boy, did that shake up the atmosphere.
Well, it had a lot of energy to work
I'm
off.
trying to tell you about barometric pressure. What was that guy's name? That weatherman on CNN?
Oh. Oh, find him. I hate that guy.
That was fun as fuck.
Chad.
Chad.
Chad sucks. Chad. Yeah, we'll play that for everybody. They can
Great.
appreciate that dumb clip.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you have that happen, there's a lot of energy that the storm could work off.
Oh,
And
man.
boy, talking heavy rains.
Wind, lightning.
Lightning everywhere. I've never seen more lightning strikes in my life.
Nature's light show.
Lightning just hitting all around me.
Damn, nature, you scary.
So you don't get to see that shit living low on the ground like you do.
No, but I certainly saw a good light show.
You saw the light show?
It was cray.
The lightning strikes hit the Hudson River, and then it kicks up everything from the bottom.
Yeah.
A few lightning strikes, you know, close to shore on the Hudson River, and then it looks like it's oil or something coming up for a little bit.
It's the silty bottom.
Oh, no shit.
I have a silty bottom.
Is that the clip? All right, here's Chad Myers.
All right.
He's all in with his weather.
This is during
which I guess
Katrina.
Is it?
Yeah, and
hours ago,
his big
so it
moment.
has filled in a little bit, filled in with some air,
Okay,
not
so
as lower
Chad,
pressure. But
Chad,
Camille,
Chad.
let me talk, Carol.
Translate that for us. I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
Well, if you would let me talk, Camille.
There's a better version of it. Goes a little
Yeah.
longer because I didn't know he threw his papers in
He's
disgust.
so angry.
I hate Carol, too, though.
Not
So,
as lower
Chad,
pressure, but
Chad,
Camille.
Chad.
Watch
Let
him throw
me
the
talk,
papers.
Carol.
Translate that for us. I
Throw
don't know
the
what that
papers.
means. What does that mean?
Well, if you would let me talk, Camille was 908. And so this is actually now not
in the
as
northern
strong.
hemisphere, unless you were obviously trying to get under a hurricane.
All right.
Carol.
Thank you, Chad.
All right, just
And then he was like, just kidding or something.
But he wasn't just kidding.
No, he wasn't.
He wanted to call her an interrupting cunt.
Yeah.
Yes. Is she still on that Carol Broad? I don't know if I've seen her.
That was
lately.
so great. He's just babbling on about barometric pressure and which hurricane had the lowest barometric pressure and what barometric pressure was on this barometric pressure. And she was just not having it. He was rambling about nothingness. There's an exciting fucking killer storm, and he's talking these science geek numbers.
Chad.
Oh, God. That emasculating bitch.
Yeah, that condescending fucking tone.
Yeah.
If you want to piss off a guy, use that tone, ladies.
Oh, man.
You're never going to get our proper attention with
Chad can't get a fucking rigid rod, a turgid boner. It's all noodly, and she just goes, Chad, like, look at that thing, and he's all just sitting there. I don't know what happened.
It's not very tumescent.
No,
Is that the word? I was trying to remember.
Tumescent.
Tumescent.
Look, I don't know.
I think you're right. I think you got
it is.
it. Anyway, the storm was pretty impressive, and I guess you lost your power again.
I lost my goddamn power. I'm.
Where are your light? Where are your light poles? Up above ground?
This is the dumbest fucking thing.
Below
Yeah.
ground?
I live in, place. I live in Nassau County, Long Island, the area. It's one of your older neighborhoods that they've plowed asunder these older houses and built up these bigger houses and whatnot. But they still have the power lines strung over the property lines
So dumb.
of everything on telephone poles with these giant fucking units, these big transformer
So
units on the
stupid.
poles. And the power just goes out when you have these big lightning storms.
Who does
You hear
that-
like a pow,
Right.
and then
You see the whole thing go.
power goes out. You hear a big bang, and then the power goes out.
Looks like a firework.
Yeah. And then you don't know what the fuck is going on. Mm-hmm. So that happened yesterday, I guess about 7 o'clock or so last night.
Oh, that's prime time for you.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So I'm sitting around. It's still kind of light out. So I'm just sitting around going, it'll come back on before it gets dark.
So what? You go out? Oh, you can't go outside, obviously.
No, there's just nothing to do. It's lightning and thunder and rain. So, and then it starts getting dark, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to start lighting candles. I have a portable generator. But something's going on with the voltage, and it just burns out everything I plug into it. It's a little too high.
I saw one of your tweets, and what, the town's holding you up?
Well, that's with my big generator that I'm having installed at the house.
But you own your house and your property. Why can't you just get a generator for your house?
I need to put in a fuel tank, a big fuel tank underground at
Really?
my house to hold like mega gallons of fuel for the generator.
Wow, you're going all in.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Where are you putting the tank?
Underneath where the generator is in the backyard. And the generator will go behind my pool house. And it's giant. It's like half the size of my cabana.
Now I almost understand the town on this one.
Well,
I didn't realize it was. I thought it was an easy fix.
No, this is giant.
I sort of understand.
It's like a fucking freight train in my backyard.
Because I know we hate local government and everything they force you to do.
I just can't
to
stand it.
Live in your own home.
Yeah.
But all right, so
So
you're
I
waiting
have to
for a
have that
permit
done.
so you could get a tank in your
So
backyard.
I could put a tank in my backyard.
How many gallons is that going to hold?
I don't know. Fucking 1,000 something.
Really?
I don't know. It's a lot.
How big is the tank?
It's giant.
But how? Like, is it a like a large bathtub?
It's like a truck.
Really?
It's like they're
Where do
burying
they put it?
a
Oh, they
truck.
bury it.
Yeah, they bury it in the yard.
Wow.
Somewhere. Fuck them. Just bury it. And then, they hook the whole thing up, and then it goes directly into your electrical system. So then you have battery backup for all your computers and electronic devices. So the power goes out, the battery backup takes over immediately, and then right after that, the generator kicks in, feeds your electrical system immediately for your entire house. You don't even have to stop doing what you're doing.
Wow.
And I could turn everything on in my house.
And you're only going to use that maybe twice a year.
Yeah. Don't care for that twice a year.
But why not twice a year just have the fun of not having lights?
Just shut my power off.
And just deal with it.
Because it's not very fun.
Remember when your lights used to go out, you would just go to bed?
Yeah, when I was 8.
You would just go to bed, though? It would get dark, and you dealt with the candles for, 15 minutes and said, you know what, I'm just going to bed.
Yeah.
There was nothing else to do.
I can't do that, though. I don't like silence, and I don't like the dark very much. And that's the two things you get during a blackout.
Oh, no.
You don't
the
like
matter?
the dark?
Oh, no, I don't like silence or the dark. Oh, no, what happened to me? Jimmy's flow chart. It's Jimmy's flow chart.
Well,
I had
know.
a peepee in my hiney.
Is the flow chart on the door there,
Yes.
Travis?
I don't know.
Could you explain the flow chart? We haven't talked about Jimmy's flow chart in a while. Isn't that the one? Oh, that's not Jimmy's?
No, that's another.
Which flow chart is that? Oh, that's management's flow
But it can
chart.
work the same way.
Did you do a good job?
Wait, what is that flow chart?
I love the flow
This
chart.
is a great one, too. And then we'll get to Jimmy's flow chart, and we'll bring everyone back on point.
Well, on top it says, "Did you do good?"
Right.
And then it can go yes or it can go no.
Right.
And they both lead to we have a problem.
That is Sirius XM in a nutshell.
Right.
Yeah,
It's a
that's great.
simple flow chart.
And Jimmy's is very similar, but it all leads to molestation.
You were molested.
So
Yeah.
if he's scared of the dark,
No, see, you're fucking, and people here are fucking it up. I never said I'm afraid of the dark. I just don't like the dark. It's not entertaining to me. It's fucking, I like being able to see things. It's not afraid of the
Can't
dark.
you just-
I don't like the dark.
why can't you just chill?
I do chill.
In a way where it's like it's no people, no alcohol, no music. Just sit there and just chill.
Why? Why?
Just to to get
It's
a little peace.
boring.
Well, it is boring. You're not supposed to do it for hours.
It's just boring
Could
to
you
me.
just sit for an hour and just chill?
No.
And what do you need
No.
in that hour?
I need some type of visual audio stimulation.
Always.
I need something to tinker with. I need something to look at.
What's the most
something colorful pinwheel spinning?
What's the most peaceful thing you do?
The most peaceful thing I do. Let me think. All right. All right. It's a nice day out.
Yeah.
I go out back. I lay on my lounge chair by the pool. I turn on some music. and just shut my eyes and kind of just,
Listen to the tunes.
Listen to the tunage, relax.
There you go.
The nice cocktail next to me on a table.
Having no AC stinks. That's the worst part of it.
Yeah.
I grew up with no
Well,
AC.
somebody mentioned that. I went through everything last night. There's nothing really to do but tweet at that
Right.
point in time with the power off. So I was fielding questions. I was throwing out comments. And people said, what do you do with no AC? It must be getting warm in the house because it's very hot. Then I said the movie theater, which is downstairs, is very cool, and it offered a tactical choke point. Where if anybody invaded the house,
beautiful.
I had like a 300 style choke point to make sure no shenanigans.
So you were in there with candles?
No, I never really went to the
You
theater.
didn't go in there?
I stayed upstairs.
The AC thing doesn't bother me because we didn't grow up with AC.
Oh, I need
It's
to
a
get
battle
sick.
in my house because I'm a non-AC guy and my wife loves AC.
Holy mother of Christ! You're not fucking.
I don't turn them off, but
Wow.
I could easily just hang out without
That's
AC.
insane. I need meat locker cold.
Did you grow up with AC?
Nope. But that's just it. I didn't grow up with it, so I want now. Everything I didn't grow up with, I want now. I want toys. I want things.
I think that's how everyone lives their lives.
Yeah.
Did you have fans growing up?
Well, I have fans now. Oh, Jesus Christ.
He doesn't mean those kind of fans.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chippa. I had the oscillating fans. And they're all shaky.
And they never worked right.
No, it stunk.
They were always rubbing on something.
And my fucking dad, again, would do things like ass backwards because it was what he heard.
Mm-hmm.
He would put the fan in the window, but backwards. It's blowing the hot air outside. It's taking the hot air from the house and blowing it out. I'm like, no, I want something blowing on me.
Yeah.
Evaporation is a cooling process. So if you sweat and the air blows on you, the sweat evaporates off your skin, thus cooling you off. If it's blowing out, you're not getting that wind on you.
Air is weird. I remember it would be 95 degrees, and if you had a fan in your room, for some reason it would be cooler.
Felt cooler.
And that's dumb if you think about it.
Well, it is because that happens. Evaporation cools you. When you sweat and the air blows on you, it evaporates the sweat and
that's
cools
what
your
cools you
skin
down. Right? All right.
And that's why it feels colder when you get air blowing over you.
I thought the sweat cooled you down.
Well, it technically it does because that's what it's doing. It's evaporating off of you and cooling you down.
Do you know a very fun fact? Is to this day I sleep with my air conditioner on and a fan blowing on me.
A fan and air conditioning.
Yeah, that's a good combination.
Double cooling. Home run, Norton.
That's a good combination.
But I also have a large humidifier and
I do the
cleaner,
humidifier.
giant one.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I have the fan behind the humidifier.
You can't
blowing over at me. It blows over the humidifier at me.
What the hell does it just sound like a factory in your room?
It's very noisy.
Yeah, maybe that's why you're not sleeping.
He's got just
Jesus. How about you turn half that shit off?
Plus my apnea mask makes noise.
Oh my God.
The fuck?
It sounds like
Sounds like a fucking iron foundry in his house.
Jimmy loves taking care of his air.
Yeah.
I really do,
It's
man.
all about it.
Air. You need conditioned air.
Yeah.
So what I had to do to keep the most basic of technology running in my house, which is a computer, my phones, and the iPad.
Why did you need the computer if you have the iPad and the phone?
Well, the computers, if I want to watch something, I'd rather have the computer, the 17-inch monitor on the computer, than looking at the little phone or the iPad.
Right.
And then the phone is for tweeting.
Right.
And stuff. And the iPad is just a little extra for tweeting if I want to look at pictures or something like that. It's right there. And so I plugged the iPad and the phone into the computer to keep them charged. And then I plugged the computer via extension cord into an adapter that ran to my Escalade, which was running in my driveway for 6 hours. I had an Escalade as a battery charger.
The green people are going to hate you today.
My batteries are being charged with a giant V8 engine idling in my driveway.
6 hours, how much gas? Probably half
tank about.
I would guess.
Nah, maybe less than that. I had a half tank this morning, and I had probably a quarter tank when I started. So a quarter tank.
So for about, I don't know, what, $50, $60 you were good yesterday?
I was fucking
That's not
they're
bad.
styling right there.
Most people would do that.
It wasn't bad. I had candles burning, and then when I went downstairs to get beer, I put on my night vision goggles so I could go right downstairs.
Why wouldn't you just have candles wherever you want to go?
You know, candles are very dangerous. I'm not a big fan of the candle unless I have them
So is
where
all the
I
other
see
stuff
them.
you do.
Not really.
Candles are.
I don't like a fire hazard.
Yeah.
But I have a candle in the bathroom upstairs, in the kitchen upstairs, and then in the living room, all in one area, so I could see if any shenanigans are happening with that fire there.
Why don't you put those little candles? You know,
Votive candles.
yeah,
The
going,
votive.
going all the way down the stairs leading to
That's
your bar.
crazy.
That would be cool though.
Nah, I just fucking go. I go fucking
Or you got the night vision goggles.
James
which-
Gum version.
Night vision goggles are cool too.
I'm
though.
James Gum style.
Fucking moth flying around your house.
There's there's a clip of James Gum's night vision, and there's mine. It looks very similar.
It sure does.
That's my stove.
Would you creep out? Would you be fucking creeped out if all of a sudden something popped out?
Oh my God!
While you have the night
you'd
vision
hear
goggles
fucking
on?
bang, bang, bang in rapid succession.
When you have those things on, are you sort of scared to kind of scan the room?
Nah, it's cool as fuck, man.
But
Who
I
don't
mean-
like night vision?
But something popping out?
Nah, I got pretty good fucking line of sight with that thing.
Yeah.
And I go downstairs, I pour out a pitcher of beer instead of one glass at a time. And I put the pitcher in the fridge. And then, you pour it out as the night goes on.
And the fridge is staying cool, obviously.
Fridge is staying cool. I would use my iPhone and set up a hotspot with that. And then tie in my computer and my iPad to the iPhone hotspot. And I got internet that way. And I was able to watch the George Zimmerman Hannity interview, which was very important last night, very important news. And that's how I spent my night. And then I see some flashlights going over crazy in my backyard. Like, what the fuck? So I pick up and I go to inquire. I keep it down, though, on my leg. One guy recently answered the door with a gun pointed out the door and was lit up by police officers.
Was he really?
I would suggest you don't just brandish your weapon when you
Right.
open the door to somebody that might even seem a little suspicious.
Gotcha.
You just don't.
Gotcha.
So I opened up my slider and I'm like, hey! Hey! You got to do that thing. It shows authority. Hey! And like, hey, Lipa!
In your backyard?
Yeah.
They're just allowed to go in your backyard?
Apparently, I was the last line in the line of electricity that they had to check to make sure they could turn the fucking shit on. So
right.
they check all the lines with the flashlights and stuff and make sure nobody's standing there holding a power line in their hand before they flip the fucking switch on.
How great would that be?
Yeah.
Light 'em up.
They were telling me they found one guy once that was winding it up like an extension cord around his arm.
good.
To get it out of the street.
Good.
And another guy, it was flaming. There was some fire going on the insulation.
Right.
So he was pouring water on it with a
that's
with
good.
a plant fucking waterer.
Great.
The guy was like, "Yeah, a bunch of fucking assholes." So they had to check that, and then the power came on like a couple of hours after that, at about 4 a.m. And
You were up till 4?
No, I was sleeping by then. I woke up for a few seconds when the power came back on. But I went to sleep. I put a Netflix movie on the computer and just went to sleep that way. And then the power came on. It wasn't that bad, really. I mean,
What
for
about
one night.
flashlights? People are saying, fuck the candles. What about flashlights? I like candles over flashlights.
Well, flashlights really do kind of give away your position in the house. People can see where you are. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was hoping.
I
was hoping you were kidding on that one.
Yeah, I use flashlights too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But candles are good.
I do
don't
like
mind
when the lights
candle.
go out every once in a while.
As
long as it's not a regular
generator.
Really?
Get that generator. Fucking crank that
It's
shit
kind of
right
exciting. It's like you're camping. You got to figure shit out.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I fucking can't see where you're pissing.
True.
It's it's not bad. It wasn't that bad.
Storm was unbelievable, though.
Yeah.
The news,
tore
though.
the old yard up. I mean, I tore up the neighborhood a little bit. A lot of downed trees.
I love weather events because I go right to the local news to watch those idiots.
Idiot.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah.
They'll find just a tree down and report from the tree down.
Oh, they got to do that.
And they talk to the LIPA guy. They do all
Set
this
up the
basic
shot in front
shit.
of the tree. Set up the
Right,
shot here.
right.
I'll walk into the shot.
Right. Just idiots. If we could
Yeah.
find some local clips, they're just the worst. Huh? You got it?
Oh, you got one? There it is. Tri-State cleanup.
La 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 la.
Storms.
Fox, yeah, Fox, local Fox. This is gonna be a good one, I'm sure.
They love it.
Oh, shut up.
When your power was out,
Yeah.
Did you think that Gotham was being taken over? Did you think you were in danger?
I was very frightened, Bane. I thought, yes, I thought our fair city had been taken over.
Did you think you were going to be accused and sentenced?
No, not really.
Accused and sentenced.
Accused and sentenced to banishment out on the. Well, oops, let me not spoil it. That opens tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
I can't wait for the people to see it, and then we can talk about it. Don't badmouth us on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes. Yeah, that
happened?
was a little. I don't know. People are getting death threats on Rotten Tomatoes for bad mouthing the new Batman movie, so they kind of stopped allowing people to comment on the movie and,
Really?
and rate it. Yeah, until like tomorrow. I think they're going to kick it back up.
Yeah,
again.
people were commenting on reviewers who gave it a bad review.
Yeah.
But they haven't even seen the movie. But apparently one man's opinion is really important. It got so bad that they couldn't monitor all the comments anymore,
Yep,
right.
and so they just shut them off completely.
But I'll say this much: I could see the movie getting bad reviews.
well, yeah, I mean,
I think overall-
everybody has their opinion. Like, I don't know why people take critics so seriously.
Opinions are like assholes.
Hey,
yeah, they're all fun to finger.
Yeah.
Some of these assholes have to give it a bad review just to be different. But I could see where people would have problems with that movie. I think overall, though, if you took a review of all the reviewers, if that makes sense, it's going to be a 3.
Yeah, you get the average.
Probably a 2.5, 3-star movie.
so they're gonna open up the comments again.
But I can see where
after the weekend.
I can see people having a problem. Definitely.
Well, yeah, I mean, not everyone's going.
Someone asked me on Twitter, I didn't answer him back, which movie was better, Spider-Man or Batman? Because I've seen both. Spider-Man.
Ooh.
I say Spider-Man over
Been
Batman.
there.
I was going to say something, I just can't.
Why?
Just tired.
Aw.
What is he doing?
I can't remember the voice.
You had the voice. You
I
had
had it yesterday, but I couldn't think of it today.
You just nailed it today.
Yeah.
Oh, I
you
don't
go.
think that was it.
No, today I think it was even better. You're doing a great Bane. A great Bane.
Speaking of Banes.
Sam.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I was also posting some pictures last night because I was bored.
Yeah.
So there was one of me, Bill Burr, and Sam during the walkover. And young Sam, man, you forget how fucking young and innocent he was. He's standing there with a microphone, and I remember he's very new.
Why do you want your hair to be part of a bit? Your hair is part of a bit. You know. You had
Part of what bit?
You had no intention of growing your hair out.
I know, but that was years ago.
But now
man.
you have it like that because of an O&A bit.
Times they are a changing.
Yeah, but it's not still. I'm not.
There it is.
See, look at that.
Look at your hair,
you're a
man.
different guy there.
That's fucked
Wow.
up.
It's almost shaved.
Yeah, it's so short.
It's a tight dude.
I used to cut it every 3 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Whether you need
On
it
your
or
Bill
own?
not.
Burr there, okay.
Yeah, little Billy.
What a creep you look like there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I still look like a creep though.
You look like a turtly man boy. I like you better
Yeah,
now.
you're very. I forgot how like little fucking youngin looking you were. Your features have gotten a little harder with
Yeah?
age, and probably working here has put quite a few years on you.
I think
Yeah,
so.
he fucking
Beyond
started
it.
out all innocent like a little Hobbit character, and now he's Sergeant Barnes.
Motherfucker.
It's all the eyebrows, by the way. If you trim down those eyebrows, you would
think?
Yeah, you'd be 5 years younger.
Because he's got big eyebrows there.
Not as big. Study that picture.
No, you're right.
I don't know.
getting bushier.
We'll check the profile then.
Yeah, no, they're.
His features aren't as like chiseled out. They're rounder and softer.
Let's just put it this
as
way.
a twink.
I no longer believe you have candy in your head.
No, not
Thank
anymore.
God.
That's a candy head right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Steve last night, and Steve was all in trying to get candy out of your head.
Oh, right.
That was his.
I always appreciate that because we came up with this dumb thing that we think Sam's skull was full of candy because of his innocence and his red cheeks.
It's just not there anymore.
It's just not there at all. But Steve would try all sorts of ways to get the candy out of your head. He was all in.
Physically shake my head.
Right. What are you doing?
Yeah.
He would like twist your ears, try to come up with some kind of combo that would release the candy from your head.
He'd hold both your ears and put the candy searching device in your mouth. Yes. I'm going to get candy.
Shit.
So the lights went on at 4 and you're back to normal there.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
I spent a lot of time tweeting, and especially about the Zimmerman thing. That was big news last night. Hannity with a coup.
Yeah, big.
With a coup, getting an interview with George Zimmerman, and very open and honest. The lawyer barely stepped in for anything.
Right.
And Sean was asking him questions about everything, every subject that people have been asking questions about. I saw a guy that looked very composed. He comes off looking a lot younger and a lot more less threatening in real life than he does in his mugshots and the pictures the media has shown. Very articulate, not a tough guy, and what he was saying seems to jibe with the evidence that has been made public so far. And I honestly, sincerely think this guy's walking. I think he's walking, and I don't even think it's going to be fucking close.
He said he was didn't he say, I'm only reading quotes, but that he was walking?
No!
And, well, technically he was told to stop by the police, but he kept...
God, how many times I have to answer that fucking thing. People are really dumb. They just don't know what the fuck. The police told him, do not follow. No, they didn't. No one fucking even said that. The 911 operator says, we don't need you to do that, when he said he was going to follow Trayvon to see, where he's going. He's a neighborhood watch guy.
Right. Now, where did they confront it? Where did Trayvon confront him? Because I always thought, it looked like they had obviously a fight, but that Trayvon probably just fucking popped him. Because if he's telling the truth.
Well, why don't we go
through
the
on the phone?
Why don't we go through the audio?
We could do that. Sure.
And then we could fill in the blanks here.
Sure.
George Zimmerman and Hannity in a hotel room, right? Hannity went down to Florida?
Yes, he did. He went down to Florida and interviewed George Zimmerman.
How'd they secure him in a hotel room?
Oh. It was all top secret, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Zimmerman says he wasn't afraid of Trayvon and explains what he was saying on the phone that sounded like coon.
Oh, right.
Oh.
You said in that tape, something's wrong with him. He's checking me out. I don't know what his deal was. So it's almost from the very beginning, you felt. Are you saying on that 911 tape that you felt threatened at that moment when you said that to the dispatch?
No, not particularly.
What did you mean with, I don't know what his deal is, he's checking me out?
The way he was coming back, and I was on the phone, but I was certain I could see him saying something to me, and his demeanor, his body language was confrontational.
There was a controversy from early on, George, where there was some in the media that, quote, hired expert voice analysts and on certain networks, and then they ended up having to recant and rescind their analysis, where they said these, quote, expletives get away with this all the time. Do you remember what it was that you said specifically on the tape?
Punks.
Punks. It was not a racial epithet of any type.
No, and I can tell you that when the police played it for me in the station, it was clear as day.
Really? Punks and coon don't sound similar at all.
Punks.
I'm just throwing that in my head. Punks.
Yes, punk.
How does that turn out to sound like coon?
Was it coon? Yeah.
Then it sounded like cold. It's cold.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Did we have that? Can we find that, Sam? It's
I want to hear the original clip now.
Yeah, Zimmerman says.
Now that he's saying it was punks.
Because coons is what they thought it was, but it wasn't.
No.
Then they thought it was something else. God, they really fucking. They wanted this to be a racial killing so fucking bad.
Yes, they did.
God, they behaved fucking repulsively.
Yes, they
did. The media really fucking behaved badly.
All right, here it is.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm going to have to find it.
How long is that clip?
2 minutes.
All right, yeah, you find it, please.
Yeah.
So we can play that.
Yeah. I mean, he sounds very It just sounds like a reasonable fellow during this interview.
Sam's got it.
Oh, here it is.
Punks.
Oh, fucking punks.
Fucking punks.
Wow, let me hear that.
Listen to that.
Wow, that's
fucking
punks. Period.
Fucking punks.
That's punks.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So are people going to play this on the news today?
Probably.
Yeah, I wonder if they are going to play the explanation.
Probably not.
Because they had a lot of fun playing it when they thought it was Coons.
Why not play it now that it's been explained?
Right.
Yeah.
That should be everywhere today.
Everywhere.
Holy fuck. I swear to you, when I said punks, I'm sitting here like, no way did you say punks. I heard something that didn't sound like punks, certainly. But it's clear as day now.
Play it again?
Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fucking
punks.
Yeah.
How did they get coon out of that?
Because they wanted to find something racist. And when they said it sounds like, it's hard to tell what it is. When someone tells you it's this, you go, oh yeah, it sounds like, because coon, when it said coons, I was like, oh yeah, it does sound like
But
coons.
now I don't hear coon at all.
I don't either.
Was there a different version of that where the audio was a little...
I don't know.
I think that's pretty much it.
That has always been the audio, and the news thinks that's coon.
Yeah. Man.
Wow. Wow.
Not only, so NBC edited the thing to go, they took out just the way he goes, he's looking suspicious, he's black.
Yeah,
and then the coons, God, they wanted it to be
it to be racial.
He's white Hispanic.
Thing.
When have you ever heard anybody described as white Hispanic?
Never.
Ever.
Right.
Never until this.
That clip should be everywhere today.
George
Zimmerman saying, I said punks.
Yeah.
And then you could listen again, and it sounds like punks.
It's punks.
Clear as day.
Even if you hate Hannity, and plenty of people hate Hannity, he has honestly, with this story, made absolute assholes out of the rest of the mainstream press.
Yes.
Well, you hate him on everything else, fine, but on this story,
yes,
he has made an asshole out of every mainstream network.
And this is an important point in the story, and this is where you got to understand our news just stinks. They will not go with this today.
No.
Maybe one, maybe one.
They honestly don't want to put the truth out there. They want to make their own story, and they know enough people that watch their newscasts are very uneducated on this case.
Right.
So there are plenty of people that still think he said coon, will always think he said coon.
Right.
There are people that think that the police told him not to follow. There are people that, and will never think any different.
Right.
And then when he gets acquitted, they're going to be fucking freaking out because they don't know the facts.
Unbelievable. I'm going to watch Wolf Blitzer today.
In the Situation Room?
Yeah, because he's in the Situation Room, and this is a situation.
This is a situation.
It certainly is.
This is an absolute situation. I want to see what he does with this.
I'm sure he'll play this as much as he played the other audio, right?
Yeah. We moved on from your light issue a little too quickly, Ant. You said you don't like the dark, right?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of sitting in the dark.
How about dancing in the dark?
I could do that.
Jason from CT on Twitter writes, he's not afraid of the dark, he's afraid of the darks.
Oh, my. That's racist.
And then this lady who has a horrible Twitter name, I can't even help you out, sorry. Anthony hates candles because of the ex-wife.
That could be. She
Goes
used
back
to light
to an
them
old
candles
story
up.
When it was sexy time.
Oh, would she light them candles up for some of that sex? Yuck.
So now we understand why you don't like candles. That just brings back bad memories. Huh?
Yes. Oh, bad memories of fucking missing out on playing Half-Life. And
There are stories we tell on this show that I swear I could hear another 100 times.
Oh, I know.
And just quickly, when I used to drop you off and see those candles in the window, and you're just pure disgust.
Like, oh, God.
And then one time you actually told me, could you please go around the block once?
Just go around the block. I got to psych myself up for this. Fucking poor Gordon Freeman's going to have to sit there for another few levels while I take care of business. While I fake an orgasm so I don't fucking come in her and have a kid.
Do you know how great that is that you used to fake coming in your wife?
Yeah.
Oh! Would you make the cum face?
Yeah.
Then you just go jacking off later?
And I'd fucking lay seed in the bottom of the toilet.
Was that the part where he said it's fucking cold?
That's what it sounded like, yeah, fucking cold.
Is that the same part of the clip? Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Because someone pointed that out, and I just want to make sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. You want more of the Zimmerman?
Oh, yeah.
We could keep going back to the ex-wife.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite subjects.
Jesus.
George says Trayvon was not running, and he was not pursuing him.
Mm-hmm. You said, and then we get to the issue where you said on the 911 call that he's running. You said that to the dispatch. Is there any chance in retrospect, as you look back on that night and what happened, and the nation obviously is paying a lot of attention to this,
yes, sir,
trying to maybe get into the mindset, because we also have learned that Trayvon was speaking with his girlfriend supposedly at the time, that maybe he was afraid of you, didn't know who you were?
No.
You don't think that? Why do you think that he was running then?
Well, maybe I said running, but he was more.
You said he's running.
Yes, it was like skipping, going away quickly, but he wasn't running out of fear.
You could tell the difference?
He wasn't running.
So he wasn't actually running?
No, sir.
Okay, because that's what you said to the dispatchers. You thought he was running. Let me ask you this. At that point, we can hear the unbuckling of the seatbelt, hear you opening the car door, and this dispatch asks you at that point, and this became a very key moment that everyone in the media focused on, and the dispatcher asked you, are you following him? And you said yes. Explain that.
I meant that I was going in the same direction as him, to keep an eye on him so that I could tell the police where he was going. I didn't mean that I was actually pursuing him.
So this moment where some had suggested you were out of breath on that tape, you yourself were not running?
No, sir.
Well, Hannity is very focused.
Oh, yeah,
he's doing a very good job.
Yeah, Hannity did a great job with
He
this.
did, but I'm going to tell you, Zimmerman is not as convincing to me.
No?
No, because I think what he's doing is being careful about how he answers.
He has
because
to be.
Without
this is
it, with,
all this is all evidence
admissible
for the trial. It's all admissible.
But he's saying things like, because Hannity called him on it too. He goes, "Well, you said he was running." Well, I meant he was skipping away. I buy more in the moment that the guy was moving away from him quickly rather than skipping away. I don't believe that he didn't know the other guy might have been afraid. I think he's actually answering for legal reasons, like
perhaps
if you acknowledge, like when he goes, "Did you feel threatened when you first got out of the car when he was staring at you?" Legally, if the answer is yes, and you still pursue, that may remove your ground. I don't know what that is, but I think there's a little bit of bullshit there. Even though I still don't think that he actually cold-bloodedly murdered the guy, I think there's a little bit of bullshit there.
But how about this? Now, you can honestly tell when someone is running out of fear of you, and someone bolts running because they're afraid of you following them, and when someone's taking off, perhaps not running at full speed, but I know what he's talking about, this little skip move, this little just step up your speed from walking thing, when they want to get away from you based on not wanting you to follow them anymore, because they just don't want you watching them. Not out of fear, but out of, hey, motherfucker, I don't want you watching what I'm doing and taking off in that direction. You can tell the difference. I don't think Trayvon took off running and kept running away because, first of all, Zimmerman didn't follow him in a run.
Right.
If Trayvon ran away out of fear and kept running, this never would have happened.
Right.
He at some point circled back and punched Zimmerman in the face. That's what Zimmerman is saying, and that's what the evidence shows.
I'm wondering, did he come up on? Because what you're saying makes sense. Did he come up on him and he turns around and pops him? Because to me, it's like to get popped like that without pulling your pistol out first seems like you have to come around the corner.
He said he didn't see him. He said he lost sight of him. Didn't see where he was. He had the phone. He was walking toward a courtyard to get an exact address to tell the police. Because where his truck was, there was no way to really tell the police exactly where he was. So he was going to get an address in a courtyard where he was. And at that point, Trayvon comes out of virtually nowhere and punches him right in the fucking nose and broke his nose.
But as far as Trayvon is concerned, he's walking, and this fucking guy is just like eyeballing him. I'm not saying he should have punched the guy, but because he is a shot unarmed guy. He's literally just walking, and this fucking creepy dude is staring at him. Did he know? But did he know it was a neighborhood watch guy?
No.
So he sees this fucking guy staring at him and then following him, and he's probably like, "What?" If that's how it happened, he's like, "What the fuck's this creepy guy follow me for?"
Well, I would think if I was walking in a neighborhood that I didn't live in, and someone's following me, I would first assume it's probably somebody in the neighborhood that is wondering what the fuck I'm doing there.
I would find it, like, if I was in a neighborhood that I didn't live in, I thought someone, and I thought someone was following me, and I didn't know they were neighborhood watch.
Oh yeah, I would
be
definitely
fucking worried. I'd be worried.
I would definitely be worried
or angry.
No, I don't know if I'd be angry. I mean, there had been break-ins in that neighborhood, and he was doing what he felt he had to do to keep some of these places from being broken into.
I'm not 100% with Zimmerman, but I'm not. I don't.
I think the evidence points to an acquittal, though.
I think you're right.
Whether you believe him or not,
right.
or that, I think there's enough there. There's enough evidence here, and he's credible enough, and he passed a lie detector test,
right.
And the evidence taken at the time, and his injuries, and all this stuff put together, there's enough there to not convict him of second-degree murder.
I think you're right. And I do believe that he got punched. And I do believe that his head was split. Like, everything they've tried to disprove, I think, actually did happen. I believe the violent, like, the way, I think Trayvon probably popped him.
Yes.
And I think that he really didn't intend on murdering the guy.
Yeah.
There's just something about this lead-up to the actual event that's annoying me, because I think he's answering only to protect himself legally, and he's fucking dancing around what he knew was going on. There's something there that I'm not buying.
Wow, amazing. He's using the media to try to get his point across instead of just being crucified in it for months.
And if Trayvon was alive, he would be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
That's why you got to bring this to the court.
There's just something about him that's bugging me in his answers.
Well, let's continue. George says he didn't follow Trayvon after the 911 call.
Mm-hmm. What did you do from that minute forward when the dispatch said, "We don't need you to follow him"? What did you do next?
I walked across the sidewalk onto my street, Retreat View Circle, where I thought I would meet a police officer that I had called.
So you did not continue to follow him at that point?
No, sir.
How long was it, George, after that you saw Trayvon again? Because you said you stopped, that you did not continue pursuing him. When did you next see Trayvon Martin?
Less than 30 seconds.
Okay, and so at that point, Trayvon is, all of a sudden you turned around and there he was?
Yes, sir.
What happened next?
He asked me what my problem was.
Expletive problem.
Yes, sir. And I was wearing a rain jacket, and I had put my cell phone in my jacket pocket as opposed to my jeans pocket where I normally keep it. And I immediately went to grab my phone to this time call 911 instead of the non-emergency. And when I reached into my pants pocket, because that's where I keep it out of habit, it wasn't there, and I was shocked. I looked up, and he punched me and broke my nose.
One shot.
Yes, sir.
So he said to you, "You have expletive, you have a problem." Those were the exact words you used. You remember it?
Do you have a problem? What's your problem?
What's your problem? And you said to him, "I don't have a problem."
Yes, sir.
You reached for your phone.
I reached for it as I was saying, "No, I don't have a problem."
And at that point, you just got hit?
He was already within arm's length from me.
See,
Uh-oh.
This is the hard. That's hard.
Uh-oh.
Here's the hard part for that.
That's a sticky point.
Very sticky point.
Yep.
I looked up and he hit me. Like, literally, you're following this guy who you're suspicious of, or you stop following him. He reappears, and you look down because you forget where you put your phone instead of reaching for a pistol, which you have.
Mm-hmm.
Who in their right mind in that situation where, regardless of who you are, there's a conflict between two men in a dark. So you're aware and afraid. Who the fuck is going to look down to dial 911 as this? If you don't know, criminal or angry black dude is coming towards you, you're going to reach for your pistol.
This right here is the pivotal moment of this case.
Yeah.
Did he go to reach for his gun? Trayvon sees that and punches him in the face out of fear that this guy's pulling a gun on him.
Yeah.
Or did it happen like Zimmerman says? Now, this right here is the moment. Here's the deal, though, that's going to be in the trial. There's no witness to this except for George Zimmerman and except for the physical evidence that's there, which shows that Zimmerman is beat up. It shows that Trayvon was shot at very close range after Zimmerman was beat up, obviously.
Right.
And that's what they're going to have to work on, not a speculation that Trayvon might have thought he was going for the gun. That's a maybe. You got to go with the evidence. I honestly think Zimmerman's walking. Now, that's very sticky.
Yeah, but
right
I simply, listening to that, don't believe him.
Right.
Like, if he had said, in this, like, just right there, legally or not, whatever the legality of it is, if he had said he was approaching me and I said to him, look, I'm armed, and he charged me, and that I would believe, because that's what I think most people would do in that situation. Nobody in an honest situation, or again, most you get to reach for a fucking phone to dial 911 because the guy's approaching you when you have a pistol. Who's going to reach for their cell phone? Oh, nerds, it's not in my pocket. Say, black fist in my face. Oh, thank golly, I have a gun.
Oh, nerds.
Come on, stop.
All right, George talks about Trayvon seeing his gun and George calling out for help.
When did he first see your gun?
After we were on the ground, I shimmied with him on top of me, and it made my jacket rise up. And he, being on top of me, saw it on my right side.
What happened after that?
I felt him take. He had after he couldn't hit my head on the concrete anymore. He started to try to suffocate me, and I continued to push his hands off of my mouth and my nose, particularly because it was excruciating having a broken nose and him putting his weight on it. And that's the point in time when he started telling me to shut up, shut up, shut up.
Why did he tell you to shut up?
I don't know.
We heard the screams on the one recording from a neighbor that was calling the police, and there's been some dispute whose voice that is. Was that your voice screaming, or was that Trayvon Martin's voice screaming?
That was my voice. Absolutely.
That was your voice?
Yes, sir.
And the police even said at one time they heard 14 screams. You were screaming that loud?
Yes, sir.
They'll be able to prove whose voice it is in court.
I don't know. It's
It's
on
been,
the
yeah,
back of a
that's-
tape.
That's always been another point that is,
right.
Who knows? But, yeah.
I don't believe that's the first time Trayvon saw his gun as he was being attacked and it shimmied up. You're on a dark street and the guy's fucking pounding you.
Right.
I don't believe that he looks down if he's on top of you, beating you. I find it hard to. I mean, none of us have been in a fight in years, but you don't look down at the guy's waist when you're punching him in the face.
And Trayvon was strangling him. Is there marks that prove this?
Or smothering him, you're saying, hands over the face.
Smothering him over
Didn't
his
he
face.
say he had him around his neck at one point?
No, I think he said he was
okay.
trying
Okay.
to covering his mouth and his nose.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, how about we do this? We take a break, and when we get back, George talks about shooting Trayvon.
George.
This would be a good place to stop for the
right.
for the moment.
I simply am having trouble believing some of this.
It's the Sean Hannity interview with George Zimmerman.
Hannity did a good job. I thought he was thorough.
He did. He was thorough. He didn't come off as biased or anything. He's asking him all the questions and calling him out on a lot of stuff.
I think anyone would stretch the truth, though, Jimmy. You know.
Without, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't believe he should be acquitted. I mean, convicted of second-degree murder at all. No. But I do think he acted more irresponsibly, and I think that I just don't buy that Trayvon Martin. Because you have to remember, this guy really was just going to get Skittles. Like he wasn't there doing anything wrong. He really was just fucking going to get something from the store. He had them. He actually had the stuff. And he was just going back to watch the All-Star game. You know, it's like, I just don't.
I'm not saying that, it's not tragic.
Yeah.
It's not that mistakes weren't made. Maybe cases of mistaken identity, shit like that. But, if George Zimmerman felt his life was being threatened at the time, which evidence shows that could very well
Yeah,
be.
sure.
Regardless of what the actual truth of the matter is, unfortunately, he's going to be acquitted. I don't think there's no way second-degree murder sticks on this motherfucker. It doesn't happen. No fucking way. These prosecutors went too far. And they're going to pay for it by losing this case.
And they're going to try to plea him down to manslaughter or something, and he won't take a plea.
Maybe. I don't think he'll take a plea. I think he's got this fucking knocked. I think he'll be fine.
All right, we'll continue with the audio in just a bit. Stay there.
Sirius XM. And now, the Opie and Anthony Show.
Got the British Open on.
I see that. Oh, someone just sunk one.
Who was that?
I don't know.
That was a long putt.
Pretty long fucking putt. Holy shit.
Who the hell was that? I think that's Graham McDonald. I believe.
That's Thomas Aiken.
Huh? Oh, wow. I got that one wrong.
You should put some ice on it if he's aching. Double bogey.
Adam Scott leads the British Open. -5. Tiger Woods -4. And then Paul Lawrie at -3, and Zach Johnson at -3, and Bubba Watson at -3. And then it goes on from there, I guess. But Tiger Woods off to a pretty good start so far. And Rich Voss's pick, John Daly, is already +2.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, that was just a dumb pick, Rich.
Well, if anybody's going to do something dumb.
He doesn't like when you do that.
What?
Rich Obamacare Voss.
He's already upset that you didn't defend him, and now you're for a third day
I'm
in
going
a
to
row.
defend that.
Why would you defend that? It was hilarious.
He thought you'd be like, oh, it's my pal. Don't make fun of my pal on your radio show.
Not the biggest fan of Glenn Beck, but funny is funny, man. They nailed that one.
I love that.
They nailed that one.
You're not a fan of anything Glenn Beck does, except when he makes fun of Voss.
Fair is fair. That was just funny.
Yeah.
That was just funny. Happy birthday, Jim Norton.
Happy birthday, Jimmy.
Now, I want to say this really quickly. Every day is Jim Norton's birthday, but today is actually his birthday.
Today's really his birthday.
So I don't want people to be like, yeah, whatever. It's the dumb, birthday bit they do every day.
Not even shitting
I
you.
want to acknowledge that it's Jim Norton's actual birthday.
And I know that there's a big surprise that everybody's been planning, so whatever you want to spring it on
Let me
me.
unzip.
I said surprise.
Not daily occurrence.
Yeah, that's old hat to me. What are you going to do? Stick it in my mouth, asshole, ears, and nose? Old hat. Tony.
Tony.
Tony, Boboni.
Suck on my bologna. Oh, well.
Pepperoni.
Oh, pepperoni. I changed the words around.
Well, then you say, leave me alone.
Tony. I hate that song. I used to cry when it came on. I turned into old pissy eyes. It's a goddamn song. Jesus Christ.
Would he get annoyed when you cry?
Oh, would he get annoyed when I cried? We were going through Flushing once, coming home from a party at one of his relatives' house. So, of course, he was hammered. And him and Mom are yelling and arguing. And then the radiator just fucking unloaded. Steam comes out. And we kind of just limped over to the side of the road, and he starts getting out, and I just lost it.
Why were you crying in that situation?
I was just scared.
You weren't even driving.
The road was dark, and it was like, and the steam was making noise, and
that just scared you as a little kid. How old were you?
I was probably 6.
Oh, all right. Well, 6, you cried.
But but oh man, Dad was just like.
But he wouldn't allow you.
Shut him the fuck up.
Really?
Oh yeah, because he'd had it. He didn't want to deal with the radiator going, and Mom bitching at him the whole drive because he's hammered driving, and he'd just go, "Ro, shut him the fuck up." It's like, "Oh, Joey, shut up, stop it. He's upset."
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Did he like your brother better?
No, he actually liked me better.
But he seemed to really yell at you a lot more.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe early on when I was a kid, he was annoyed with me, being pissy-eyed.
Right.
But later on, I think me and him had a lot more in common than him and Joe did. Mm-hmm. I kind of liked hanging out with him and having fun, riding horses and shit. And Joe just, was kind of like his own guy thing.
All right.
Yeah, so it was kind of like that. But and I think deep down, I was a little bit more like him. I think deep down, my dad probably wanted to be pissy-eye. and shit, but...
Did you cry more or less when they started fighting with each other?
Oh, more. Oh, I got a stomach ache. Just anything to
Did
make
Joe
him stop
cry ever?
fighting. Nah.
Dawn cry
Joe
ever?
Joe was the rock. Yeah, Dawn was just dumb. She was just that deer caught in headlights when they would fight. She's just, I don't know.
Everything's
and I'm
good.
like, stop.
Was she
I
more
have a
like
stomach ache.
denying everything?
Yeah.
Trying to go through life like,
Yeah.
It's just a little
And it was get in your room. I'd come out like, I got a stomach ache. No, you don't. Get in your room.
So you cried the most.
Yeah, I was going to cry, baby.
Dawn was in denial, and I would bet Brother Joe just kind of rolled his eyes like,
Joe just got angry.
Get this fucking over with and separate already.
Joe was like the guy that was wise beyond his years.
Yeah,
like
I can see that.
whenever they would leave the apartment, Joe would make out with the babysitter and fucking just drink the booze in the house. He would, I swear, at fucking probably 9 years old, Joe was plying the fucking babysitters with booze from the liquor cabinet and then making out with them.
How do you even figure that out at 9?
I don't know.
I was scared
he was doing
shitless of
I'll
booze
tell you
and
how.
broads.
Somebody gives you booze and kisses you when you're 9. That's how you figure it out. Oh, poor Joe.
Oh, really? Molestation?
Joe was
molestation.
Joe ruled when it came to fucking wheeling out with the babysitters.
Right.
Because they were probably 14, 15 at the time, the babysitters.
And he was 9.
He was 9,
getting things done.
making out with the fucking babysitters. And then they would fucking have parties at the
amazing,
house. This is like, very early in the 70s. And these hippies would come over the house and fucking play guitars and bongos and drink and, and then they would clear out. We never ratted them out, though. Never ratted out
Why
the
would you rat 'em
babysitters.
out?
It was kind of fun.
I would never rat that shit out. That's just cool shit. Jimmy, you having a tuna fish sandwich? Mm-hmm. See,
that is good, right?
On
toast?
Amazing.
Fucking excellent.
Nope, that's why I'm bringing it up.
What?
These guys have never tried tuna fish with grapes, and I'm standing by this.
You're insane.
I'm not the only one.
Celery, great.
Celery, good. You put the celery
Lettuce,
in there, too.
great.
Nah, lettuce is
No, you put
a
some
waste of
lettuce on
time.
there, and I love a little lettuce on my...
No one loves lettuce. Everyone makes believe they love lettuce. Lettuce stinks.
Not alone, but on a sandwich.
Lettuce stinks. I don't mind a crispy piece of lettuce on a tuna fish sandwich.
But if it wasn't there, you wouldn't care either.
Lettuce isn't a standalone leaf.
Can you guys at least try tuna fish, celery, and some grapes?
I'm not putting grapes
Not a lot
in
of
my
grapes.
fish.
Not a lot of grapes.
No.
Some people break down the grapes, so every bite has a little grape.
I hope he eats like he's pregnant. Never.
I know I'm not the only one. Come on.
No.
Where are my tuna fish grape people?
I will not eat grapes.
What about a little...
That's like that bacon sundae. No meat on my fucking ice cream. No fucking fruit on my fish.
It was good. Nah, you put a little sweetness into your tuna fish, just a little bit, and it brings everything together nicely.
So maybe a little squeeze of lemon on there, but not...
Come on, lemon.
Not fuck... Come on, lemon.
Lemon. Come on.
That's good.
Lemon is a waste of time,
Grapes.
too. What do you put lemon on? Clams, maybe?
And what do you do? Wait, do you
lemon.
cut the grapes up, or are you putting the whole grapes
Yeah,
in?
you cut them up. Maybe you put them into, like, quarters. Cut it in half and then cut it again.
Too sweet. Too sweet.
Well, it depends how sweet you want your tuna fish.
Don't want it.
I'm just
Don't
saying
want
a
it
little,
in there.
Just a little bit. A little bit. I know I'm
My
not alone on
chick
this.
makes chicken salad
Come
with
on.
grapes.
There you
I
go.
just pick them out.
Oh.
There you go. You don't want that in there.
Maybe it's a girl thing.
I don't like the grape
I'm
thing.
telling you. But
No.
you've never tried it.
No, but I could tell.
But you got to try it to tell.
I'm mentally putting it together.
You are.
In my head, and I could taste it. And no, ew.
See, I got your back, Ope, on the grape thing. I'm telling you.
No.
Just try it. Jimmy, will you try it for your birthday?
I don't like apples and stuff either.
Oh, look.
No.
Amanda goes, I'm with you. It's like the Waldorf chicken salad with nuts and cranberries.
Oh, I hate nuts in anything.
I don't mind nuts and cranberries together
they're in
with a
my
little
mouth.
cheese.
The Waldorf.
Before I even finished the sentence, the dick sucking reference was made.
Of course.
That was good.
How about tuna and pickles? That's good. You don't
No,
go-
no, I don't like pickles on anything. They're too overpowering.
You don't have
Pickles
a,
are very
You
strong
don't have
taste.
a pickle with a sandwich?
Nope.
I love a fucking.
What's wrong with you?
Too overpowering.
You just want a plain tuna fish sandwich.
I'll eat a pickle after the sandwich.
No,
like,
you eat it at the same time.
No,
You take a bite and then you...
Overpowering.
And then you...
No, too powerful.
How about this? A fucking nice Carnegie Deli sandwich with fucking some of their like half sour pickles. Rule.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know about that.
I love a good Carnegie Deli sandwich with a fucking pickle.
Grapes and tuna is fucking delicious. You got to use green grapes. Fruit in meals is gay. There you go. So, assholes.
No, I'm not feeling that whole grapey thing.
But you don't even try it.
No, and I won't. I know what I want.
You just know.
I know.
All right.
I could figure that taste out.
All right.
God.
Fair enough.
Sam's got a couple of very in shape gentlemen. One resting his head on the other one's leg as he's fed strawberry.
I just saw it was people eating fruit.
It is.
Tuna and jam rocks. Now that's weird.
No, stop it.
That's just dumb.
That's crazy.
Now we're all on the same page. That's just stupid.
With marshmallow fluff and salmon.
I never was a peanut butter and fluff guy. That was the dumbest thing to me.
Yeah.
Because I like the jelly with the peanut butter. And
I just
knowing
like
you could
fluff.
have jelly, why would you go fluff and peanut butter? That made your mouth incredibly dry.
I liked just fluff on bread.
I would just scoop out the fluff.
That too. And it's got to be new fluff. Old fluff just turns into like fucking
where it's all
napalm.
crystalline
It's
shit.
just
Right.
goopy. Or, yeah.
All right.
Yay!
Nice. Oh, what? Jim Norton. There's a happy birthday, Jim
made the
Norton,
happy birthday list.
44.
On Imus, thank you.
With Lisa Lampanelli.
Nice.
And George who?
Lisa's 51?
Oh, yeah.
But I did choose a few years older than me. I didn't know
she all that.
She doesn't look 51.
Oh, Jimmy.
She does.
Wow.
You share a birthday with Lisa Lampanelli.
I do, yeah.
Cool.
She lost a lot of weight recently.
Yeah.
She she get the stomach thing.
The HIV?
I think she got the stomach thing. Let's get back to George Zimmerman. So we're talking about the interview he did with Sean Hannity last night from a hotel room somewhere in Florida. And now we're up to the point where George talks about shooting Trayvon.
All right.
Do you remember when you yourself reached for your weapon? Do you remember that moment?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that.
At that point, I realized that it wasn't my gun, it wasn't his gun, it was the gun.
Did he say anything? Because you said he was talking a lot about the gun. Did he notice the gun?
He said, "You're gonna die tonight," and took one hand off of my mouth, and I felt it going down my chest towards my belt, my holster.
Ooh, sexy.
And that's when I didn't have any more time.
Do you think you acted more out of a conscious thought? I mean, I know these events happen very quickly. Do you remember consciously thinking, I've got to grab my gun? Or did you just do it? Was there a conscious thought that went through your head that you thought you were going to die and that you had to take this, you had to get your weapon and fire?
I'd love to give you an answer.
You don't know.
It just happened so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I simply do not believe him.
Yeah, that's
I don't.
rough
Again,
too, man.
I don't think he's a second-degree murderer. I really don't. I do not believe that Trayvon Martin said to him, "You're going to die tonight." Even if he passed a lie detector test, I believe that is way too perfect legally for Trayvon to have said, "You're going to die tonight," and reach down towards his gun.
Yeah.
I don't believe him.
It sounds like he's posturing for the trial here.
And
during
of
this
course,
interview.
I would too.
Yeah. He's trying to save his own ass. Having called the police beforehand, I doubt he was out to shoot somebody. You know, I mean, he called the police. They were on their way. He wanted the police to show up before any confrontation. But now, you got a guy. All of a sudden, he's being confronted by somebody. I do think Trayvon knew he had that gun before he pulled the gun out. I do think now I do think he knew he had the gun.
Or was he just getting his ass kicked and panicked? Like, again, I would too if I had a gun and Trayvon or anybody was beating me up. I'd pull it out.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe he just panicked and shot him because he was getting his ass kicked.
You're going to go to the maximum that you can possibly go to. And if you have the gun, that's what you're going to do if you're getting your ass handed to you.
I simply do not believe that Trayvon Martin said to him, "You're going to die tonight." If circumstances had been different, I just don't buy it. It just doesn't. It doesn't seem real to me.
No.
That everything he's saying is too perfect legally.
Yeah.
And just don't buy it.
Well, let's continue. George talks about fearing for his life now.
There was a bounty put on your head by the new Black Panther Party, wanted dead or alive.
Yes, sir.
Nobody's been arrested.
Wanted.
Yes, sir. Do you feel your life is in jeopardy?
Yes, sir.
By the Black Panther Party?
Amongst others, yes, sir.
And you've had multiple death threats?
Yes, sir.
You know, look at what happened in this case because it became so public. Spike Lee is tweeting out what he thinks is your home address. The Reverend Al Sharpton and NBC News, tries to use this case to bring up the issue of racial profiling. What do you say to Spike Lee, who didn't know the facts of the case, they hadn't been revealed? What do you say to Al Sharpton and those that rushed to judgment? What do you think their motives were?
I can't guess to what their motives are. I would just ask for an apology. I mean, if I did something that was wrong, I would apologize.
This is going to come back to haunt him, by the way.
Really? Why?
Because he does, during this interview, apologize to the family. Now, a prosecuting attorney can make it sound like, hey,
why would you
apologize?
Right.
And then later on in the same interview, you say, if I did something wrong, I would apologize. You feel you did something wrong here? They will do that.
You're right. They will
use it.
And his explanation will be, maybe I said that wrong. I was saying I'm sorry that your son is gone and that it happened.
Right.
But I'm not sorry specifically.
But the jury will hear that.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
And they will twist it. You're right.
Yeah.
George talks about being supported in prison.
The prison population was very aware of your case being so high profile. Did they treat you differently?
The inmates?
The inmates, yeah.
Yes.
In what way?
I believe that a lot of them personally know that sometimes the media doesn't portray things correctly. There was one instance when I was in the rec yard by myself, and in a window, a few inmates got together and just made a sign of strength to me. And
yeah, but what color were they?
Exactly.
Isn't that important?
I'd like to say the sisters didn't get to George Zimmerman.
Hannity should ask what color were they?
Yeah, I'm sure it was the white supremacists.
Well, right. Well,
the guys with fucking SWAT stickers on their shoulders.
Everyone hangs out with their people in prison. So which group was it?
Exactly. I don't think it was the black guys. Maybe the Hispanic guys.
I don't know. I think it's important here. I don't know if Sean didn't ask.
No.
George talks about not being white.
The narrative it seems they want to make about this case is that, and you could read the articles if you haven't already, it's a white guy that killed an unarmed black youth holding Skittles and an iced tea. What do you say to that?
Again, I appreciate you not rushing to judgment. I think that people assumed I was white because of my last name. And my father is Caucasian, my mother's Hispanic. But English was my second language, believe it or not. My grandmother and my mother raised me. My dad was in the Army, and he wasn't home for a lot of my infancy, so I consider myself, first of all, an American, but a Hispanic American, and I don't think it's fair that they rush to judgment to assume that.
All right, this guy, he's a smart guy.
Yeah, but he's also...
He knows how to fucking sell himself because he's distancing himself away from the whole white thing.
When Hannity's
he knows
smart
that'll
too,
help him.
Because Hannity's using this as an opportunity to motherfuck the rest of the media.
Oh, yeah.
And he's right. Again, hate him if you want, but the media just is fucking disgusting.
I think Hannity did a great job there.
He did do a great job, man.
We should get him on the phone.
He called him out.
Let's get his feelings on the whole interview. We should have.
Feelings.
Did we contact Hannity about this?
I did send an email to him when he started doing this. Haven't heard back from him yet.
Yeah, we'd love to get him on for a few minutes.
He doesn't actually have any idea who Eric is. So
E-Rock likes to think he does.
He does, yeah.
He doesn't know you.
You know what was the greatest thing ever?
What?
I don't know if I've ever told you, Jim. I think maybe I've said it on the air before, but when you guys did the Imus thing.
Oh, yes, I heard this.
You remember, right? When,
Yeah.
because Eric for years had been saying how he knows Hannity, and, you know, that's our connection to Hannity.
Sure.
We were sitting in the Hard Rock dressing room, and Hannity, I think it was me, Eric, and I don't remember who else from the show was there. But he points to both of us, and he goes, and which one of you is the one that emails me?
E-Rock.
E-Rock. Eric goes, that's me. And he goes, and your name is Eric?
Oh,
You really saw this go down?
I saw it. It was the
God.
greatest
Last
thing
part
that ever
didn't
happened. Yeah, it did. It so did. He
It
didn't know who you
happened.
were.
It happened.
It totally happened.
Eric wants every radio
I'm willing
guy
to say it
know.
happened.
Yeah. Scott Shannon.
Scott Shannon know you?
Yeah, he knows me, but I
Oh,
don't.
I know, that's a fat kid there. I fired him when I caught him eating my pudding.
Sex bagel.
Stop eating Scott Shannon's desserts.
He was eating my pudding, so I fired him. While I was eating it, he was scooping his little fat finger to the other side of it, eating my pudding.
If they continue making Batman movies, they got to get Scott Shannon as a villain.
Yeah,
that
big
would
head.
roll, yeah.
Fucking big head. That would be great.
Everyone going to go see Batman? I hear it's sold out already.
I'll probably try to go see a daytime show.
You had a chance. You had 2 showings. Why didn't you go?
What's wrong with you?
I got things to do. I'm not going to sit there.
You have nothing to do.
Yeah.
Wait,
Another
every
show
now I got
here.
stuff going on.
I just want to say one thing about Batman, because I want to help people out. When you're watching the movie, please don't focus on that huge mole on Christian Bale's
That's
face.
only going to make people focus.
Don't focus on it, because it'll be a much better movie if you could just ignore the fact he's got a big mole between his nose and his right eye. It's massive.
Batman has a beanbag chair on his face. You don't understand a word I'm saying. I'm talking through an air vent. I sound like I'm hiding in the ductwork of your house. It's difficult to understand me.
What? What, Bane?
I should be looking at a warthog in the woods right now. I'm David Attenborough.
Sam, I'm just trying to help the people out.
No,
I think if they know ahead of time that if they just ignore the mole, it's a much better performance by Christian Bale.
How are they supposed to ignore the mole while consciously thinking about how they're not supposed to be thinking about the mole?
No, I think if you bring it up like this, then they go, "Oh yeah, the mole thing. Okay, yeah, I'm not supposed to focus on it."
You're not good with psychology. I don't think it works
No,
that
it's
way.
going to work out perfectly for these
All
people,
right.
and they're going to enjoy themselves that much more.
I just don't see it happening.
Yes, it will happen.
Okay.
Yes.
What race are you?
None of your business, Bane.
Can we take a break so we can get Florentine in here?
Sure.
Oh, man.
And also, we got Dice coming in today.
Hey, Dice is coming in.
And
Hey, we saw Dice in Vegas.
yeah, you did, right?
You fucking asshole face.
He's great.
He said when he said asshole face
2 minutes
first time.
in.
It was fantastic. Throws someone out, calls him asshole face.
He tells him to go into the back and stare at the wall.
Oh. And then he talks about woman sap. And these women, they get that, what is it, that woman sap? It comes out of their belly button or I don't know where.
He comes up with these premises. They're just amazingly ridiculous. But
Yes.
he says it like we all know that this is the way it happens.
He's playing Twister with a girl in a back alley by a dumpster.
Oh, really? That's one of his concepts.
It's a first date. What else are you going to do?
Yeah, first date.
You know, a lot of people try to come up with that silly shit, but when Dice does it, it just works.
It was hilarious.
Who comes up with woman sap?
Woman sap.
Woman sap.
No, Chip, now.
Yeah, I
come
called
now.
it Goopy Goop.
Goopy Goop.
That's stupid.
Way worse.
All right, listen. We break. Florentine joins the show next. Florentine married. Why isn't he not on his honeymoon? We
Maybe
will find
he did
out
mini
next.
moon.
He went on a mini moon.
Is that what you did?
I went on a mini moon.
When's your full honeymoon?
August.
And where are
end
you
of
going?
August. Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Don't go in the water.
Why?
Sharks.
Oh, and I love it if he came back missing a left arm.
That
His
would
whole-
be good.
Yeah, we don't want you dead, but man, if you were missing half your arm, that'd be
That would be kind of
hilarious.
cool.
Just
Gotta
it's
admit.
embarrassing.
That
You're
would
right.
just be hilarious. We all have to make believe we don't notice this.
I'd lose my wedding ring.
Oh,
You put it around your neck. That's what the people do.
Steven Singer.
They put it on a
right.
necklace for you.
Exactly.
Wedding ring, you'd lose that.
To hook up
Lost,
another one.
yeah. Bought and then lost by a shark. Safe because he's fucking weaselly. See?
There are only
only a handful of online dating sites where you can actually meet women who just want to bang the way I want to make Gotham go bang. At the top of that list, CougarLife.com, where even people breathing through ductwork can find women to fuck them. With over 2 million women, only half of them in Gotham, Cougar Life has cornered the market in single moms who are stuck at home and recent divorcees who are desperate for some dick. According to a recent study, women in their 40s are 5 times more likely to have sex with a man who's talking through ductwork than women in their 20s. Don't you hate those young bitches? You can't fuck them when you're in prison and have to climb out. You'll understand this in 2 days. Think of all the single moms in Gotham or recent divorcees out there who haven't had a date in years. When they do go to fucking frolic, they go to CougarLife.com. So instead of wasting your time being teased by uptight Anne Hathaway Catwoman bitches at the bar, go to CougarLife.com and see if you can break the record of banging 30 cougars in 30 days. Set by me, David Attenborough / Sean Connery impression. Try Cougar Life for free today, and then we'll subtitle my appearance in the new Dark Knight movie so the older woman can suck your dick while you're finally reading what I'm saying because you can't understand me. See why it was voted the wildest dating service in America 3 years in a row. That's the end of the read, fatso.